Hey, what's up everyone? In this video today, I'm going to talk about a common limiting belief of those, not only with those that have busy, demanding careers and business pursuits, but it could really be anyone. It has to do with the attitude of, I don't have time to work out. All right, so I'm telling you right off the bat, that is false. And I'm going to break down in terms of why, as well as just the kind of mindset that you do have to take. And it's going to start with, off the bat, just this concept that having the time, which no one does, which I'm going to go into first, and then I'm going to just break down that belief and show you how you can be getting your work in with workouts and stuff. And it just doesn't have to be as long as maybe what you're suspecting with having long workouts, working out every day. um, it doesn't have to be. Then in terms of just with general health, I'm going to give you just, even if you're just really are not willing to make the time for going to the gym, I'll have some insights to give you to just you can at least stay healthy, even if you're not like really putting in serious work in the gym to achieve physique related goals. Okay, let's get right into it. All right, and guys, thanks so much for tuning in, and please subscribe. Please follow my Instagram as well at Nick Venuto Fitness, and just like and comment and stuff for the I don't know if it helps the algorithm or not, but um, and please subscribe. And if you are already, thank you so much. All right, let's get into it. First of all, this whole concept of just I don't have the time basically is implying that we have time, which we don't. Time is basically of the resources that's really not in our control. So no one really has time. It's more or less that we are allotted time. We are given time by powers that be that we're not that we don't have control over. Right? Whatever do you believe in, whether you believe in a god or nature or just random coincidences just occurring. Um, no one has time really. It's you know we just it's just something we're kind of granted as a gift. So that's just the wrong. That's like this limiting belief just stems from just a wrong mindset about about having time in the first place to start with. It's just wrong to begin with too. In terms of really, it's about you choose to use your time, and it's and yeah, I know some people are busier than others, especially some of you with kids and balancing the business. That is true, but what isn't is that you don't have the time to be making to achieve your fitness goals. Okay, everyone has a certain amount of time in the day. It's 24 hours, and everyone needs 6 to 10 hours of sleep. Maybe some a little more, some a little less, but that's basically what everyone needs. Okay, so you're working with whatever that is. What is that? 12 to or 14 to 18 or something hours is what basically you have to work with in a day. Everyone has that much time, and you know, you should be, and what is it? Your work day is going to be, some of us work a lot more. So typically a work day, unless you're part time, unless you're at a stage where you're not working a 40-hour work week because maybe you have your own business or you're in a career doesn't require to do that. What you're working, whatever it is, 30 plus hours. Most of you are probably in a 40 to 45, 50-hour work week range. And some of you are working more. Um, Maybe certain times of the year, which I mean, I was in the field that was the same way with public accounting. I'll go more into that. But let's say even you're working 60 plus hours a week. So let's say you're having 12-hour days. You still had time you could squeeze in if you really wanted to, even if you're only training 2 or 3 times a week, which we'll go into later how you can achieve your goals with that. So stay tuned. Um, Really, unless you have some kind of so crazy scenario where you're working really crazy above 60 plus hours a week, you have a little bit of time to devote, even if it's not as much as what you think would be optimal. Maybe it isn't optimal, but you still have time to devote depending how you choose to portion your time, allocate your time. When I was in public accounting, I plenty more worked way more hours than I did. I was at a smaller firm, small local kind of boutique type firm that did auditing only of a lot of governments and nonprofits. Anyways, our busy season, which was 3 months out of the year, it very often got extended though, where we were doing busy season hours or more hours than 40 for more than 3 months of the year. But the peak hours were 55 hours a week, and that's not counting like commute times and stuff. And you know, okay, I mean that's a good amount of hours, and most people, even with 55 hours a week, when I've heard of people in public accounting doing 60 plus hours a week, 70 hours a week, I've heard of people doing 100 hours a week in and just for a couple weeks. That's not sustainable for anyone. But anyways, I still kept up with my training working like 55 hours a week was our busy season. Okay. I kept up with it. And some of those times it was only a 4 day a week split. A lot of the times it was a 5 or 6 day a week split, though. I'd be either training first thing in the morning before work, waking before 4 a.m. to train, more like 3 a.m. I was waking to train, or that, or training after a long, demanding day where I was getting into the office maybe times I'd say between 7:30 and 8:30, leaving for the night. Could be at 5 p.m., could be 5:30, could be 6. I mean, I had a more packed schedule than most doing that, and I still got my training in, made most of my gains while working in public accounting. And still now, with having your own business, it's you got to wear many hats at certain stages. There's just a lot you got to be accountable for and such. And I get it in now too, and still progressing very slowly after 15 years of training. It's been okay. That there aren't really any excuses. Let's say you had a legit excuse. You still don't, but I'm going to show you in a second. But let's say you had a legit excuse where you're someone that legit is working like 80 plus hours a week, where you're looking at that's more than a 12-hour day. Now you're getting to the stage, and that's not probably not including your commute either, right? So let's say you're legit doing that many hours. Well, I mean, let me ask you, how is it going for you realistically? Maybe your finances are doing really good. Probably not much else. Uh, I was at a small firm where those hours were a lot on people, but the feedback I got from people, from folks in larger firms, a ton of people go through divorces and stuff in those kinds of public accounting firms where you're working like for a good amount of time. Even if it's just busy season, maybe it's not even that big of a time of the year where people working 60 plus hours. Those are places that just, these are it spurs all kinds of things that just are not good. Burnout, stress related issues. Those are people realistically that have all the excuses to not get it done, even though they still could do something. But my thing would be, if that's really the scenario you're in, where it truly is not worth it to you, where, maybe legitimately your time away from work, you got to spend with your family and stuff. You're trying not to be that statistic, getting divorced at working at a sweatshop, whatever the deal is. Well, here's the deal. If you truly have other things you got to put above that, then I would say, the way you're going to have to make the time is you're going to have to find a better place to be working, or switching careers or something. Which that's what I did. I had enough of it with the 55 hours a week. I dealt with stress and burnout related issues. I constantly had way too much work to keep up with. The next step for me at my firm, it probably would have been partner at some point in a year or two before I left. I mean, maybe even sooner than I thought. Who knows? Can't know for sure, but that's what they were telling me. Like, some of the things that they were starting to have me do. They're like, yeah, these are the kind of things we're giving you. We gave this to so and so before he made partner. They were putting the carrot in front of me, like, just keep doing what we're doing. And I was just like, yeah, no, enough's enough. Time for me. That wasn't proper for me with my balance level. So here's the deal, guys. If you really have these excuses that are a lot more legitimate than most, in terms of I don't have the time, your way to create the time, you got to get yourself into a better situation, which is probably with the career and business. If it's your business, maybe it's time you got to figure something out to buy back your time with your business, not be trying to wear too many hats, or you got to just get more efficient with things. With what could be stuff to do with automation, it could be to do with technology, it could just be having better systems, being more organized, bringing people into the business, even if there's freelancers or agencies or firms you can use to outsource things. I mean, guys, it's just not a way to live if you truly don't have the time to be working on your fitness goals. You still have some kind of time to be doing something to be keeping yourself healthy, which I'm going to go over too. But here's the deal. It's it's not a way to live, and it will catch up with you. And everything is about balance. I don't advocate for with competing in bodybuilding and in sport, but I advocate for working really hard and pushing ourselves the best we can around our career and business and any other pursuits, because everyone just needs a certain level of balance. And the more things get out of balance, the more likely things start to fall over, i.e., come crashing down. You have issues with a view of your health, with your finances, with something else. Everything's about balance, guys. And even if it's not serious training, you got to be doing something with your health. Now, we're going to get into two more things, so stay tuned. One of them is going to be with, just how you really can. You don't need to be in the gym constantly and for long periods of time to make serious gains with improving your physique, with gaining muscle and strength. All right. But two, even if you just really aren't quite willing to do that, I'm going to get, you have things you can do just to be generally healthier and at least just not be just totally coming totally derailed. Okay. First of all, most of the clients I've helped, they get put on a program 3 days a week is what they get put on, and it's due to one with just their schedules. That's more or less what they wanted, what they're happy to devote, and just with the stage that they're at with their training, that 3 days a week is more than enough. I even have someone active. She's on 2 days a week, and she's gone up 15 pounds, and it's been more or less 6 or 7 or 8 months, whatever. However, I can't remember exactly how long she's been working with me. She's up 15 pounds, and she's in her 60s. She owns her own business. She's involved in IT. Okay, guys, like this kind of stuff. If you're like not super advanced with your training, a few days a week is really optimal for males and a lot of females, and sometimes for someone that's not real conditioned who's a female, 2 days a week can be enough to be getting started. Or even if you just have kind of been doing something but just don't want to devote a ton of time and you're not too advanced with your training, and really most even really serious people, it's like 3 or 4 5 days a week tops is what they do. I'd say 3 or 4 days a week. Even people that are advanced that could maybe benefit from being in the gym more often, that are conditioned enough to be handling a bit more, they can just keep it at 3 or 4 days, and then it's just the trade-off they have is they still have extra days to recover from their workouts. To push themselves really hard the days they're in, then recover from the workouts the extra days. Even though they could handle more workload, it's there's always just a trade-off when with working out more frequently versus less. You got a trade-off between more recovery days and the potential to get more done or have with more volume, or just more frequency. There's always a trade-off with that. And in terms of with having super long workouts, it, as another trade-off that happens with having a longer workout versus a shorter workout is, again, it's the same kind of consideration with the ability to get more done with having a longer workout versus a shorter workout. You have just the ability just to get it in, get it out, and then start recovering quicker, and then not push yourself so hard to be just keep breaking yourself down. Because what happens is the longer you're working out, let's say the stuff that you're doing 60 minutes into the workout, right? Comparatively to the stuff that you did earlier on, you're getting diminishing returns, diminishing gains from the things you're doing later in the workout. So for absolutely no one, even if you just got to take longer to work out because you have more you have to get done or whatever, it just you're going to deal with that where you're going to get less out of the things you do longer into the workout. It's just what happens for anyone. So for that perspective alone, it makes sense for anyone to have a shorter workout than a longer workout. And you got to weigh that against how conditioned you are to get what you really need to be getting done within a shorter time frame versus you're just going to have diminishing returns the longer you're working out. Anyone has that trade-off. And so for you folks that just don't have a lot of time, a few days a week at 45 minutes to an hour working out, you don't need to be doing more than that, and anyone at any stage can make gains at that, even if it's not the optimal workout for them. Okay, there's even, I've heard of powerlifters that are working professionally, and they have just I can't remember who they were. This was an article I read ages ago on Lead FTS. They were commuting to a gym pretty far. They have pretty specific needs with the kind of gyms they train at, so they can't go to any old gym. They would commute like an hour to the gym outside around their work schedules. They're doing 2 or 3 workouts a week, and it might have been maybe a little bit of a longer workout, I think, but if I recall correctly. But again, this they found a way to balance their training needs, and there's so many different ways you can do it. If your schedule works a certain way, like you only have 2 days, well then you do 2 days at maybe between an hour 15 to an hour and a half. If that truly is all that you can devote with 2 days, just the way your schedule works out. Or if maybe you have more days you can go, but you don't want to spend a lot of time at once. You just constantly have things every day you got to tend to. Get you in for 3 days, 45 to 50 minutes a week. You know, there's a lot of different ways you can be flexible with this. So but what no one needs under any circumstances is 6, 7 days a week just training for at least an hour a day. These things are just not needed. Okay. And this is talking with those that have really serious physique improvement goals where you want to gain muscle and gain strength. Okay. This you don't need to be just training, just constantly being a gym rat, living in the gym. Now, here's the deal: if you really just still are not willing to be devoting time with going to the gym, if it just still is not worth your time, well, then, you got to try to do something to just keep yourself from just being really out of whack with your health and with what else, right? You got simple things you can do. It just getting out and walking every day, even if it's just for a very short period of time to start your day and to end your day. Okay, doing stuff like that. You make better food choices, eating cleaner, not and trying to cook more for yourself, or that, or picking better options if you just are having to eat out and stuff, or you just choose to eat out. Okay, what else? I mean, even simple things with just during your workday, taking breaks and making it a break where you get around, take a walk around. I mean, simple things, taking the stairs versus elevators. Let me think. What else can you be doing? Finding hobbies that you get physical activity with, that you enjoy, not just going to the bars and the clubs, drinking beer and sitting and watching TV. Find some kind of physical activities that are you're going to be willing to devote time for. Whether you enjoy going for bike rides, you enjoy going to the beach or whatever, and just even if you're not doing that much physical, take a little walk. You get to at least be out in the sunshine. You can go in the water, go for a swim. It's better than just sitting around just doing nothing. What else? I mean, if you like hiking in nature, if you enjoy nature, uh, I don't know, maybe you enjoy photography. Find good places to hike. You get to walk. You can, you know, hit two birds with one stone. You walk, take photography. Let me think. What other? I mean, there's so many things to do. And I'm just thinking of things that, for example, some of which like I enjoy, and I train. But if you're really not willing to devote the time for training, you've got to find some things to do to keep yourself well, and that's gonna be with something to do with more likely walking or some other kind of just very natural type of movement that you can do, and then just eating better and trying to make some just better decisions to just keep up with physical movement through the day during your break, during just taking short breaks and stuff. If you're but really, if you want to, you know in the long term, you're always going to have the time, even for you that are working crazy hours. For you, the way to make the time is you got to get into a place where you're not, your whole life just doesn't revolve around the grind, basically. That's just the truth. And for those of you that are just in the standard, whatever it is, 40 to 50-hour work weeks, or maybe even less, thinking you don't have the time, you do, clearly. You just have to make it. You do. And it's all there is to it. There's people working like tons of hours. I was in that camp working a lot of hours, and still now, and now it's, at least it's more flexible, but we were getting it. I'm getting it done. That there aren't any excuses. You just got to pick what to portion your time. And I train 6 days a week now. It's been a 6 day a week split for ages. None of these need to be doing that, though. None of these, even if you're more advanced. You can just do a few days a week if that's really what you're willing to be devoting. That you can make gains with that if it's a well structured program. All right. Well, anyways, that's about all I got for today. And listen, here's the deal. I mean, maybe it's that you're not willing to make the time because you're not confident you're going to get a good result. All right. If that's the deal, then I've helped people, and I help people in your exact situation with making gains when they don't have a lot of time to devote. Again, I'm trying to remember how many people I've had that I've written a program for more than 3 days a week of training. Few, if any. It's Guys, you know, book in a call if you'd like. I got my Calendly link in the description. Book in a call and see how I can help you with this. If you really think that maybe you're coming to the conclusion, yeah, I've got the time if I wanted to make it, but I'm still not sure I want to make it. I don't want to waste my time. It's precious. I don't have much of it. It's precious and valuable. I don't want to waste it if I'm not going to get a good result. Some of it, I think, this I don't make the time or I don't have the time, it's more of a smoke screen. You're not willing to make the time, and it's because it's not willing to make the time if you go to the gym a few days a week or whatever it is, and you're not looking the way you want. Still, you're not feeling the way you want. You still don't have good energy. It's just not that enjoyable. You don't really know what you're doing. You feel it's a waste of your time. Well, it's not going to be if you work with me. I'll tell you that. So again, book in below if you want to consider and explore how I can help you with that. All right. Looking below. I'd love to meet with you. Okay, guys, and again, thanks so much for tuning in. Please subscribe. Please like and comment. Follow my Instagram too, at Nick Venuto Fitness. And just stay tuned because I'm doing a lot more content. It's going to teach you. Some of it's going to be with training and more training and nutrition type science. A lot of it is going to be just geared for those of you who are in the business and career pursuits and who just are having a hard time balancing the fitness around your training, or you want to just make the most of your training that you are balancing around your business and career pursuits. All right. So, because I'm in your situation, so I've been in it, being in public accounting, so I totally understand. So please stay tuned and please subscribe. Thanks so much for tuning in.